5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start. The election of the Vice President is a vital component of the democratic process in many countries that follow a republican form of government. The position of Vice President holds significant constitutional importance, as the individual who occupies this office is often the second highest official in the executive branch. This role not only involves assisting the President in various capacities, but also includes stepping into the position of President in the event of a vacancy, resignation, or incapacity. The process through which the Vice President is elected reflects the principles of fairness, transparency, and representative governance, aiming to uphold the democratic ethos of the nation. The office of the Vice President is typically defined in the Constitution of the country. The method of election is outlined in detail to ensure that it is conducted in a structured and impartial manner. In a parliamentary democracy, the Vice President is usually elected through an indirect election process. This means that the general public does not vote directly for the Vice President. Instead, an electoral body, often composed of elected representatives from both houses of the legislature, is responsible for electing the individual to this high office. This method of election is designed to ensure that the candidate possesses the confidence and support of a broad spectrum of the elected representatives of the people. Eligibility criteria for the office of Vice President are also clearly mentioned in the Constitution. The candidate must be a citizen of the country and must have attained a specific age, which is usually comparable to or slightly less than the age requirement for the President. The individual must also possess other qualifications as prescribed by law, such as not holding an office of profit under the government or not being of unsound mind. These conditions are essential to ensure that only capable and impartial individuals contest for this office, maintaining the integrity of the position. The nomination process for the Vice President begins with the filing of nomination papers. A candidate must be proposed and seconded by a certain number of members of the electoral body. The nomination papers are then scrutinized by the designated authority to verify their validity. This step ensures that only serious and eligible candidates are allowed to contest the election. Any discrepancies or objections are addressed during this scrutiny process. Once the nominations are cleared, The list of valid candidates is published and the date of polling is announced. The election is conducted by means of a secret ballot to ensure confidentiality and free expression of choice by the members of the electoral body. The voting is done through a system known as proportional representation by means of a single transferable vote. This system is designed to provide a fair chance to all candidates and to reflect the preferences of the members more accurately. Each member of the electoral body is required to mark their preferences for the candidates on the ballot paper. If no candidate secures the required majority in the first round of counting, the candidate with the least number of votes is eliminated, and their votes are transferred to the remaining candidates based on the second preferences indicated on the ballots. This process continues until one candidate secures the requisite majority and is declared elected. Once the voting is completed and the results are tabulated, the returning officer formally declares the name of the elected vice president. The declaration is then communicated to the relevant authorities, and arrangements are made for the swearing-in ceremony. The elected individual takes an oath of office, administered by a senior constitutional authority. This oath signifies the commitment of the Vice President to uphold the Constitution and discharge their duties with honesty and impartiality. The role of the Vice President goes beyond ceremonial functions. In many countries, the Vice President also serves as the chairperson of the upper house of the legislature. This role requires a deep understanding of parliamentary procedures and the ability to manage debates and discussions in a balanced and fair manner. The Vice President must maintain decorum in the House and ensure that all members are given a fair opportunity to present their views. In case of any dispute or disorder, the Vice President has the authority to take appropriate action to restore order. In addition to legislative responsibilities, the Vice President also represents the nation on various occasions, both domestically and internationally. The Vice President may be called upon to attend state functions, deliver speeches at important forums, and meet with visiting dignitaries. These responsibilities require the Vice President to possess diplomatic acumen, a thorough understanding of national policies, and the ability to articulate the nation's positions on various matters. In times of crisis or emergency, the role of the Vice President becomes even more crucial. If the office of the President falls vacant due to resignation, removal, death, or incapacity, the Vice President assumes the duties of the President until a new President is elected. This ensures continuity in governance and stability in the functioning of the executive branch. The Vice President must be prepared at all times to take on this responsibility, which underscores the importance of electing a capable and experienced individual to this office. The election of the Vice President, therefore, is not merely a procedural formality but a significant event in the democratic process. In conclusion, the election of the Vice President involves a well-defined constitutional process aimed at selecting a suitable individual to occupy a position of great responsibility. The system of indirect election through an electoral body composed of legislators, the use of proportional representation and single transferable vote, and the emphasis on eligibility and integrity all contribute to a robust and credible election mechanism. The Vice President plays a vital role in the legislative and executive framework of the country, and the election process is a testament to the democratic values enshrined in the Constitution. Through this process, the nation reaffirms its commitment to representative governance, institutional stability, and the rule of law. Stop.